Immunity for police officers emerging as a key stumbling block in the push for police reform as lawmakers debate whether officers accused of misconduct should be protected from lawsuits. Here to talk about it, Republican Senator from West Virginia, Shelley Moore Capito. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
It's great to have you. I was peeking at the monitor. I saw you sort of chuckle there when Senator Graham said, hell no, we're not going to go along with this. Why is qualified immunity so important?
Well, qualified immunity is a hot button issue here, and we felt that when we were creating the Justice Act under the leadership of Senator Scott, that we wanted a bill to actually get to the president's desk that would actually have the reform and the improvement of our law enforcement that we so desperately need and that people are crying out for. I think the most important thing in the argument is that we want to have good and safe and great officers in our law enforcement, and qualified immunity brings that protections that officers are going to need in certain snap decisions that have to be made. But the bigger issue here, I think, is that we need to get this bill onto the Senate floor on Wednesday. And if we want to have a discussion about qualified immunity and ways to maybe improve it or get rid of it, that's where that discussion needs to be had. So I hope that we can do that next Wednesday.
As you know, Senator Chuck Schumer's got a much different view. I'm going to give him a fair chance here. Play this soundbite and let you respond. Watch.
It does nothing on qualified immunity, which shields even police who are guilty of violating civil rights from being sued for civil damages. The Republican bill does nothing to encourage independent investigations of police departments that have patterns and practices that violate the Constitution.
So how do you balance making sure a bad apple doesn't get away with it, while at the same time making sure that good police officers, good men and women in blue, can do their jobs without fear of a lawsuit?
Well, I think what you see is a lot of training in our bill that's very similar to what they have in the House bill for de-escalation, for situations where police officers are watching another officer use overwhelming force and to intervene. I think you also see more body cameras, more transparency and accountability. And we also have a different approach on a registry or keeping records of certain demerits or other egregious acts by police officers, so they don't just go from department to department. We have it kept at the local level. I think the House bill has it at the state level. The president has it at the federal level. But we're all trying to go for the same aim here. So I'm not interested in the political talking points that I just heard. I'm actually interested in listening to the cries of the people who honestly and genuinely have lost trust in their ability for our law enforcement officers to be colorblind.
Important to get past the talking points. You're absolutely right. So how do we get to the substance? There seem to be all of these sidebar debates that keep popping up. Limited immunity, I don't mean to say sidebar. It's very important and central to this, but you've seen all kinds of other back and forth that you just referred to. Banning chokeholds, making lynching a federal crime. Some of the things that we've heard that are central to this legislation. How confident are you can get a deal that's fair and equitable to law enforcement officers as well?
Well, I would say the Justice Act does essentially ban chokeholds, and I'm all for that. The Justice Act also includes the anti-lynching legislation. And so we have a lot of commonality here. So if you want to reach a solution, go back to your studies in elementary school. You pass a House bill, you pass a Senate bill, you reach a compromise, and it goes to the president's desk. But if we don't get it to the Senate floor, if we're obstructed there for political reasons, the American people aren't going to get to see the debate on the greatest debating stage in this country, the United States Senate. So there is where I think we can make improvements and have amendments, have the full discussion on the sticking points. Remember, there's a lot of common ground here, but I think if we don't act, the American people are going to be really, really even more skeptical of our ability to get the important issues done.
Elementary school. I think Schoolhouse Rock is what it was called. I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. We'll see if it actually becomes law. Senator, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.